teaching is not enough, or gifts, they are never enough. What builds the character, it's the testing of the faith. That's why James 1:3 says, "Rejoice, brothers, when persecutions and difficult time comes, because out of the testing of your faith, it will be produced endurance." And it says, and out of the endurance, it will be produced perfect character. So obviously, pressure or testing of the faith, which means your faith, not the faith of God, not the faith which comes from Jesus, because that cannot be tested, because that's perfect. Nobody can test it. No spirit can test the faith which Jesus produced. But the faith which you have, the faith that you claim, I have faith in God, well, that will be tested. Now, there is a difference between faith and trust. Faith is something that you get as a gift, but trust is something that you develop with the intimacy of the Holy Spirit. So you cannot get trust as a gift. So obviously faith can be tested. So it says, out of the testing of the faith, the final result is a perfect character, or actually the Greek word is a mature character, something which is reliable, like something which people can look upon, they can learn, and they can get out of that something. Like for example, I said on one of the meetings, I said, listen, I can learn from each of you. I can learn from each of your lives, So I can learn from everyone about God, about how God can be so different, how God can act in a different ways. But I said, I can learn from everyone, but not all of you are my examples. So I said that you have to understand that I can always learn from everyone, even from unbelievers, but not everybody or not all is my examples of life, how life should look like. So I said I only have maybe 1 or 2 examples. And I said, and if you want to be my example, you probably, not just probably, you have to be beyond my behavior and beyond my knowledge and beyond me, in order for me to look upon, to look at you. So I said that's example. When someone operates on a higher level than you, and it's better in everything what he does or she does, and only then that's person example. So I said, I don't care about how does this sounds to you, but I can learn from everyone, but not everybody can be my example. So I said, you have to find examples. And in this particular case, what we spoke about this person, I cannot say that he's my example. He's my example. Maybe I can learn from him in the way how he treats people, or how he addresses people, or how he's preaching to people. But his lifestyle, or better to say his character, is not an example to me. And that's the brutal, if I can say truth, And I said, you can get offended by this, but I said, really, I don't find many examples that they don't have to impress me, but to be a guide for my life, to be like something that I would say, I want to become like that. Because Paul says, follow Jesus, but follow me. So with other words, he says, I have become such a mature person that now I am an example upon which you can look, and not just learn, but you can follow me. So a leader should always be an example. There kicks in this thing that I was explaining about anastrophe. That's why Paul says to Timothy, and you be an example, and let your behavior, or your, I don't know what's the English word, but he says you be a pattern in speech, in faith, in good behavior. And there comes that word anastrophe, which means that you're always upward, that whatever you do, you're always going up. And that's the opposite, like anastrophe is always going up, and the opposite is catastrophe, which means you always go down. Whatever you do, it goes down. So
I've been there.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay, that's fine, we are not judged by that, by God. Because our deeds do not judge us, in a sense, or let me say like this, our deeds do not qualify us for salvation. So it's almost like if I say this brutally, but it doesn't matter what you do, it does not get save you. And it doesn't matter what you do, it does not take you to hell. Because if we were judged by our deeds, if we go to heaven and hell, then salvation obviously has to be consistent of deeds. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So even hell